Hello everybody, my name is Conor and welcome to another deck profile for Irish Yu-Gi-Oh! Today I'm going to be looking at 3.5 Axis FireFists and we'll get straight into the deck profile. So this deck's okay, this format. 3.5, you don't go 3 or 4 because 3.5 is the most consistent and also it's probably the best. So you start off the deck with 1, 2, 3 Spirit. Spirit came back to 3 last year and in this deck Spirit of 3 is amazing. He lets you bring back a Leopard or Rooster from the grave because they're the only other level 3s you'll run in this deck, and lets you go into Synchros or other rank 3s. The other card level 3s you run are 3 Leopard. Basically you want 3 Leopard because you want to see it. You kind of want to see this really early on this card because he contributes himself to search out your fire formation, so you can search out Tensu or Tenki or in problematic Goyoku. But he's really good. You run him at 3, gives him spare 3 targets because you don't really want to target Rooster. You want to avoid Rooster at all time, and that's why you only run 2 Rooster. Rooster, you special summon off Horse Prince, and when you special summon, you get to add one to your hand, so you'd add a Spirit to be able to go into another Horse Prince play next turn, and then also you contribute fire formation spells and search out another one. So these are the only level 3 monsters you run in the deck. Moving on to level 4 FireFists, you run 1, 2, 3 Bear. I like Bear at 3 because it really stops those problematic monsters. It gives Wolfbark more targets and it gives Tiger King more targets if you can pull off his effect for when he dies. And then also you run the 1 Gorilla to get rid of those back row, problematic back row. Back row is a problem for this deck, so you just want to get rid of those back row with Gorilla. Also he can hit the scales in this format, so he's really good. So that's our level 4 FireFist monsters. Then you run 2 Wolfbark. This says your rank 4 plays for when Gorilla and Bear are in the grave. You get him and you can go into any rank 4 whatsoever with Wolfbark. So you need Wolfbark at least 2, no more than 2. 3 is just way too clucky unless you're playing 4 Axis, then run 3. Then for the last of the monsters you run 2 Ice Hand and 2 Fire Hand. This is just deck thinning pretty much. The hands are actually such good cards, and there's actually space for them in this deck. It just stops you from playing like over trap heavy or spell heavy in this deck by just running the hand combo, and especially Ice Hand this format to get rid of those scales, and then Fire Hand to get rid of the problematic monsters. So that's it for the monsters for this, and now moving on to spells. You're on 1, 2, 3 Tenki. This is your main search in the deck. It lets you bring in any Beast Warrior, so you can even target Wolfbark with it, which is really good, and then all your monsters gain 100, so it is very good to run 3 Tenki. Moving on, you're on 3 Fire Formation Tensu. I see a lot of people only running 2. I like this at 3 because I really want to see this card early game to get my extra summons as well, because this even works with the hands, because you can set a hand and then summon another Beast Warrior, because it just says you can normal summon 1 Beast Warrior in addition, as well as your normal summon that turn. So it's really good, and also it's a good target for like Bear and Gorilla's effects late game. So if you're running into an extra one, it's actually one that you can just play, not use its effect, and just use Bear or Gorilla to blow it up. For the last of the fire formations, you're on 2 Goyoku. Don't run this at 3 because it's not good enough to run at 3, but it's really good to run at 2 because you target a set spell or trap and it cannot be activated while this is face up on the field. So it can really annoy your opponent because they could have like a Torrential, Warning, Bottomless or Vanities set and they just can't activate it because you have this on it. So it's really good at 2. For the rest of the spells, you run 2 MST. This is just because like you need to get rid of those extra back row cards. So you like essentially run 5 MST in this deck with the Gorilla and the Goyokus. So it's really good, and you don't run at 3 because you have the 2 Goyokus, but if you could side in a 3rd. Moving on to the 1 of spells. The 1 Rekindling. This is such a late game, really good late game card for this deck, because you target your Leopards or Spirits with it, and it just basically lets you could bring out 5 monsters and just go into like a load of rank 3 plays, or if you have any Horse Prince left, you go into a Horse Prince. So Rekindling is very good. And then for the kind of the staples, you got the 1 Book of Moon, the 1 Raigeki, and of course the 1 Instant Fusion for your Northern. So they're all pretty self-explanatory. Moving on to the traps. Double breakthrough skill. I don't run Fiendish in this deck because I really want to keep my back row as empty as possible for my fire formation spells, because they're continuous spells, so you want to keep the back row clear so they can remain face up. And this can be activated from the grave, so it's like a double whammy pretty much. Then you also run 2 Mirror Force. This is just basically, just stop the attacks. You know what Mirror Force does. And then for the one-off traps, of course, you got the 1 Ring Destruction, deal with problematic monsters. 1 Grand Horn Pendulums, the Bottomless Pendulums, the Warning Pendulums, all pretty self-explanatory as to why you'd run these 4 in a deck. Especially the Horn, the Bottomless and the Warning. Moving on to the extra, you run double Horse Prince. Don't run 3 because you do not have the targets to run a 3rd. You only run 2. You'd run a 3rd synchro, it would be Vulcan the Divine, but I just can't seem to get my hands on one. So you only run the double Horse Prince in this deck, and he's just basically your main play you go into, and you kind of like cycle through. Then you run 2 Tiger King. Tiger King's so good with his negate the effects of your opponent's monsters, and he gets your fire formation, and when he dies you can get rid of 3 fire formation spells you have as well, and basically bring out 2 bear, or a bear and a gorilla, or a bear and, like, you can just, such a good card Tiger King is. Well needed reprint in that tin. Last rank 4 FireFist is the FireFist Cardinal. This guy is so good. His biggest flaw is that you need 2 FireFist monsters to bring him out. If it was 2 Beast Warriors, this guy would just be so OP. And what he does is, you can detach both his materials and target 2 cards on your field or in your grave, send them back to the deck, and then do the same for your opponent. So you basically can just bounce 2 things back to their deck, and you can recycle some plays for yourself. He's so good. But you only run him at 1 because you need the FireFist monsters. Moving on to the staple rank 4s, you got the 101, the Castell, Cowboy, and the Dark Rebellion. You really should know what all these cards do in this format. They're just, you need each one in the format. He's your powerhouse, he's your game win. Castell, just bounce everything. He's such a good card. And 101 to deal with those problematic special summoned monsters. Then for the kind of like rank 4s I run in the deck because of the deck is 1 Bijinte Kagasushi. He's a beast warrior, and basically he can just keep himself alive, and that's why you run him in this deck. He's a 2500 beater that can keep himself alive for a few turns. And then number 82, Heartland Draco. This guy is so good in this deck because he can keep himself alive when there's he can't be targeted for attacks while you control face up spell card. All the fire formations in this deck are continuous face up spells. He will not die while they're on the field, and he can attack your opponent directly. He's so good in this deck. Then for the rank 3s, the 1 Lion Emperor. I did have this at 2, but there was no point of having it at 2 whatsoever. You might not even go into 1 in a game. He basically just lets you bring 1 back from the grave to your hand, but you can't use it that turn. He's 2200, so he's got a high attack for a rank 3, and yeah, just run him at 1. He's good enough. And then for the other 2 is 1 Nightmare Shark, because just rank 3, attack directly, go for game with him, and the 1 Mech Equip Anganir. Just keep the monsters you want to keep alive, keep them alive pretty much. And then for the final card in the extra is of course the 1 Norden for those Norden rank 4 plays. So let me know what you thought of this deck profile, guys. I really enjoyed FireFist. It's kind of not a redundant deck right now, but it is not the strongest deck in the format, and it was obviously back when FireFists were the powerhouse, but right now, and it's still such a good deck, it can actually cause a lot of problems for other decks. I just can't seem to cope around it, and when you go into big plays, you can go into an OTK with it so easily. It's such a good deck. So I'd like to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a like. Please do comment down below what you think of my deck and some of the other deck profiles that we have done in the channel. And I'll see you all in the next video, guys. Bye bye.